Hi guys, this is Dave Barrett, and this is app number 1 of JavaScript 30, which is a challenge of building 30 apps in JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript. That means no using packages or libraries to build these apps. And this is all in an effort to kind of have a better foundation of what JavaScript is, DOM manipulation, some of the foundational elements of JavaScript. And so, now, as I'm doing this, I'm going to be posting videos of each app, and I'm going to be walking through, kind of explaining step by step what I did, what I learned. I just feel like this is just a really good opportunity for me to kind of practice explaining through my code. Helps me kind of solidify some of the principles that I've learned that are maybe new to me, so that I can get a better grasp on all of this. And so, now, you may be wondering why I'm sitting in the dark, and there's 2 reasons for that. First, I feel like I'm a better coder in the dark. I look like a better coder in the dark, just kind of a stereotype that we all sit in the dark. And so that's one of the reasons. And then number 2, I moved my home office actually into my bedroom, and I don't want you to see everything. So that's why I have the lights off. But luckily, I actually have a cool trick to light my face. I take this notepad window and I just kind of put it on one of my screens, and it kind of lights my face. So that's the poor man's method of studio lighting. So with that out of the way, let's get into this first app. So the first app was to build a drum kit. And this is pretty cool, just to kind of demonstrate what it does. You have each of these keys, A, S, D, F, G, H, through L. I can press each of them, and they're going to play a sound. So it tells me which sound they're destined to play: clap, hi-hat, kick. That's my favorite one right there. The cool thing about this is I have it programmed so that I can even press these in quick succession of each other, and it won't have to wait till the audio file has finished before it plays again. So to demonstrate, and just kind of let me show you how I had to go around about building this. And so what you're given to start with this challenge, right, is you're given this HTML document, and of course it has the styling already made for you. And what you have is these div elements. So each of these boxes is a div with a class of key representing the key that you need to press. And then on each of these, there's actually a data key attribute, which points to the event key code of that key. So to kind of demonstrate this in JavaScript, when I press, let's say, the letter T, this is the key down event. It has a key code value of 84 for the letter T. If I press S, it's always going to be 83. These are basically numbers that represent each key on the keyboard. So now, as we go down, there's also a few elements here. Audio elements. Audio elements are meant for playing audio files in a web page. So you can see the source of each audio file, a wave or WAV file, whichever you want to say. I would say wave. And they also have a data key representing which key, when 65 is pressed, that's what matches. And so to kind of go about creating this app, I had to do a few things. First, obviously, what needs to happen when I press a key, I want it to play the sound, and I want it to animate. So it's going to have a yellow border and grow when that key is pressed. So what I first had to do was I added an event listener. It's a JavaScript event listener on the window. It's listening for an event called key down. Now that means when a key is pressed on that key down event, I'm going to have it fire a function. That function I called play sound. So then I created this function play sound, right? It takes in the event, the key down event, and I have to capture which the element that the audio should play, which audio element should play, and then also which key was pressed, so that I can say, okay, you need to animate this key. And so what we do here is I have two variables. I have one called audio. I use a document query selector to select the audio element with a data key value that matches the key that was pressed. So this is the key down event. On that event, there's a key code, 65, 75, 76. And it's going to store that value or that element itself, the entire element, into this audio variable. Next, we have the key, and I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm just going to grab the entire div with a data key that matches that key that was pressed. Okay. Now, as I go down, if there was a key that, let's say for example, if I select Z or Q or something that's not actually on this page, right? It's not going to do anything. I don't want it to do anything. And so what I want it to do is I just want it to stop the function immediately. So just so it's not processing anything. And so, if there's nothing stored in audio, if there's a key that was pressed that actually doesn't match, it's just going to stop the function from running. Next here, so I kind of explained at the beginning that, before I add this line, I commented that out, and I press this, it's going to have to play the whole audio file before it allows me to press the key again and hear it again and play it in quick succession of each other. So what we had to do here was on this audio element, on the current time value, I'm just going to reset that to 0. That basically kind of rewinds it back to 0 instantly so I can press it again. And then here on the key, so on this div, on the square of the key that's pressed, I'm going to add a class of playing. This is a CSS class that I already made that has that yellow transition border. So that's all it's doing, is it's adding that visual effect to the key that was pressed. This last part of the function, which should be pretty self-explanatory, is the audio element has a method of play. And so when I press play, that's what actually plays the sound from the element. So this was the app. I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited to kind of be walking through these steps. I mean, these videos I'll be releasing kind of every day as I progress. I'll probably do multiple apps a day, maybe even release multiple videos a day just because I have the time. But in the meantime, while I do these short videos, I'm also going to be working on building Angular apps and React apps. Also going to be reading up on performance optimization of web pages, and also design patterns and things like that. So I'm really excited to be posting these things, putting them out there, receiving your criticism and your feedback. And so, yeah, this was super fun to build. Just leave me your comments, your criticism in down below. Anything except for my face is fair game, right? Because I can't really change that. But I'm excited to show you my next app. Thank you for watching.